This video is about how to use the la Français application, its functionality and main features. The application is designed to study the gender of French nouns. The user is asked to make the correct choice of article and, accordingly, gender for nouns that appear on the screen one after another. This is what the main view of the application looks like. Let's say we start with the word jour, and for it, we need to determine the correct article. Accordingly, this word is masculine and you need to press le button, and for feminine words you need to press la button. If the answer is correct, then the next word from the list is displayed. If not, then the next word will not appear, and then you still need to press the correct button. This is how it works. If you answer correctly, then the word for verification appears less and less often. Words in which the user makes mistakes appear more often. The list of words to learn can be viewed here. The current word is at the top, and the second word is the word that will be suggested after it. And so on. After the answer, the word in the list moves down. The more correct answers are given for a word, the lower it goes after each answer. And accordingly, the less often it appears on the study card. The list of words to learn is constantly updated from the dictionary. It should be said that the words in the dictionary are sorted by the principle of their frequency of use in communication and in written sources. That is, the user first of all studies the most frequently used words. Now, let's define what the condition is for a word to be learned. By default, a word is considered learned if the user gave the correct answer 7 times in a row. It is very important that exactly in a row. The number of required correct answers is a configurable parameter, and each user can choose an optimal value for themselves. This parameter is changed in this menu item. For some, a smaller number will be enough, while others will think that this parameter can be increased for reliability. And there is an additional option here. This is an adaptation of the number of required correct answers for each word. Its meaning is as follows. Let's say the specified number of correct answers is 3, but the user often makes mistakes in this word. Then, for this word, the required number of correct answers will be automatically increased, up to 10. Additionally, you can view the number of required and correct answers for each word by activating this option in the learning list. Thus, when using the application, words will gradually flow from the list of studied words to the list of learned words. Of course, many users are not new to learning French and are already familiar with a large number of words. To avoid unnecessary button pressing, the user can immediately transfer the word to the list of learned words. To do this, you need to press the Know It button and then press the button with the correct article. Then the word will be immediately transferred to the list of learned words. If there are many such words, the user can transfer them to learned words in the general list of words. To do this, you need to go to the Edit mode and mark the known words. Or, in order not to click them one by one, you can select a group of words at once, marking the beginning of the group and its end in the list with a long touch. After that, you need to press the To Learned button and, accordingly, then the marked words will appear in the list of learned words and will not be offered more for study. There is one interesting option for learned words. Let's say that in a couple of months you decided to check if you have forgotten them. Then you can mark all or part of the learned words and send them to the list of words to be studied, but with a smaller number of necessary repetitions. Let's say you can set the number of repetitions to 1. And then after one correct answer these words will return to the list of learned words. Let's go back to the main application view and go through the interface elements. We've already discussed the Know It button. Next to it is the Don't Know button. You can press it if the word is new to you and you don't know the correct answer. After pressing it, the button with the correct answer will be highlighted, and the user must touch it. Under the French word is its translation. Translations of words into several languages are currently available. To the right of the French word is a heart icon. When you press it, the word is marked as a favorite. That is, you can create a list of favorite words and then specifically study them. Just below is an icon with a speaker image. When you press it, the current French word on the card will be pronounced. Setting up different voices for voiceover is done in the Settings, Speech section. We will consider this in more detail later. If you press the speaker button for 2 seconds, it will switch to the mode of auto-pronunciation of each word when changing cards. Along with the buttons for masculine nouns and for feminine nouns, there is a button for both genders in the center. It is intended for words that, depending on the context, can be used with different articles, for example, for the word and font. For some words, a rule icon appears in the lower left part of the card. The gender of many French nouns can most likely be determined by their ending. The icon appears if such a rule exists for the word on the card. If the gender of the word matches the rule, the icon has a filled appearance, and vice versa, the icon has an outline appearance if the word is an exception to this rule. Clicking on the icon displays a description of the rule and a list of words that match it. Now, let's look at what is under the word card. The first 3 lines represent statistics for the current session. That is, the total number of answers, the number of correct and incorrect answers, and the rating. The rating is the percentage of correct answers to the total number of answers. The rating corresponds to the current session. Let's say you launched the application, worked with it for about 10 minutes, looked at the rating, and after that, you can restart the session. This means that all information on the current session will be recorded in the statistics, and the data under the word card will be reset. Here, in the Statistics tab, data for the just completed session appeared. Let's go back to the main view. There are a few study settings left. This option allows you to hide the rule icon for users who want to exclude all kinds of hints. The Study Favorites Only option should be understood literally. Let's say you marked a certain number of words as a favorite and want to focus on learning them. Perhaps you will have a dictation on these words at school or university, or you mark as favorites those words that are difficult for you to remember. If you activate the Study Favorites Only mode, then the non-favorite words in the study list will be temporarily frozen, so they will not appear in the learning process. However, if there are few favorite words, then running them around in a circle will not be very effective. Then you can set the minimal number of words to be studied. Let's say you have 30 favorite words, but you set the number of words to be studied to 60. Then, in addition to the selected ones, 30 words from the general list will be used. That is, there will be some additional rotation of words. We have already discussed the number of correct answers for learned setting for transferring a word to learned ones. Here, in Next tab, you can search for words by the beginning or end of the word. To search by the word ending, you must start typing with an asterisk. You can search among French words or words of their translation. When searching for French words, by default, Latin letters are converted to French letters with diacritics. But if you want, you can change this in this drop-down menu. If you click on a word in the list, a window like this will appear with extended information on this word. There are buttons here that allow you to perform various actions with the word. You can also call external websites with the etymology, pronunciation, or translation of the word. You can also call such a window if you click on a word on the study card. Now let's move on to the Dictionary tab. There are 5 word lists available here. A list of words being studied, that is, those that appear in the study process, favorite words, learned words, archived words, and a list with all the words in the application. These are about 9,000 of the most commonly used nouns. It is necessary to clarify here what archived words are. The words from this list are not offered for study. That is, they are similar in functionality to learned words, but with the difference that a word can be transferred to the list of learned words after a certain number of correct answers. But only the user can move a word to the archived in the list's edit mode, or quickly swiping the word card up. You can see that the words have different icons that correspond to their status. The appearance of words in the list can be customized. Thus, only the French word, or the French word with its translation, or only the translation of the word can be shown. You can also use different alignments, either all words are aligned to the left, or boys to the left and girls to the right. We have already briefly shown that words in the lists can be marked, and various actions can be performed with the selected words, which are displayed in the bottom menu. In addition, swiping of the words is available. The next tab is Statistics. Here you can find information on completed study sessions. And the last tab is Settings. Here you can change the username. In principle, this is only relevant if several people will use the application on one device. Well, let's say family members are learning French on one iPad or iPhone. Then, each user will have their own word lists, settings, statistics, and so on. You can create a new user in the Switch User section. Here you can change the user's age range. This setting is performed the first time you launch the application, but it can still be changed later. The age range is not just personal data, each age range has its own dictionary. That is, the vocabulary and the order of words differ. The number of words for the age up to 11 years is about 2,500 words, for teenagers and adults about 9,000 words. The study settings duplicate the settings of the same name on the main tab. Speech. Here you can select a voice, adjust its tone and speed. It should be noted that by default, iPhones and iPads only have 2 to 3 system voices loaded. And to add voices, you need to go to the device settings. That is, for example, to the iPhone settings. In detail, this is described in this pop-up window. Appearance section. Here you can select the graphic theme of the main view. There are light and dark color schemes, with different background images. The application supports the choice of a single graphic scheme or separately light and dark, which will automatically switch if the device uses the transition to light and dark display themes. The next section describes the rules that help determine the gender of many nouns. If you click on the ending of a word in the rules description page, you can get a list of words with this ending. In the help section there is a quick start guide, which is launched when you first use the application. And also a brief overview of the actions that can be performed with quick swipes. And full application manual. Another important point. It is possible to reset all settings and the application history in this section of the menu. The application will go into the state as after downloading from the App Store. Now a few words about swipes. These are quick swipes of the screen. They make work easier, especially when you hold the smartphone with one hand and it is inconvenient to reach, say, to the upper left corner of the screen. In the Educational tab, a swipe to the left means that you definitely know this word and this word is masculine. That is, it is equivalent to pressing the Know It and Learn buttons. A swipe to the right is equivalent to pressing the Know It and La buttons. If you swipe slowly, you can see how the window moves and see the description of the action. If you swipe quickly, the window does not move. Similarly, you can use a swipe down instead of pressing the Don't Know button. And a swipe up to archive the word. In addition, you can swipe right instead of pressing the back button when going to the top-level view. For example, we entered a view with an expanded word card. You can return to the previous window by pressing the back button or swiping right. Actions with swipes are described in the Gesture Control in App section of the Help menu in the Settings tab. That's probably all. Thanks to everyone who listened to the end of this detailed description of the application. We will be glad if the application helps you remember the gender of French nouns. If you have any suggestions, comments about the application, or you have found errors or inaccuracies, please write to us using the Contact Us option in the Settings tab. If you like the app, we would greatly appreciate your positive reviews in the App Store. Every positive review is a great motivation to develop other language learning apps. Thank you for your attention.